Good morning, and a terrific Monday it is, December 18th, 2023. Outside our Mallorytown studio, it is raining, around 55 degrees Fahrenheit. We are here with our expert panel, including Sheila, Vincent, Leslie and yours truly, Beasley. Sheila, can you introduce our first story?
My pleasure, Beasley. Welcome, everyone, to a heart-wrenching discussion on the grim realities within assisted living facilities. Did you know that state regulation is struggling to keep these places in check, and that's leading to tragic consequences?
It's outrageous, Sheila. Residents wandering off, injuries, and even deaths. This is not what families expect when they entrust their loved ones to these facilities.
Absolutely, Leslie. Let's talk about Florida's Woodmont Senior Living. 5 residents wandering off since October 2020, one found injured on a highway, another washing in a park, and a 100-year-old found dead from hypothermia. Unbelievable.
The lack of transparency is alarming, Vincent. Families should be informed about these incidents, but in many cases, they are kept in the dark.
And Kelvin Jefferson, who moved his mother there in April 2022, had no idea about these issues. He learned about them way too late.
The negligence here is inexcusable, Sheila. Kelvin pulling dirt from his mother's mouth after a fall? That's heartbreaking.
Woodmont not even reporting incidents immediately as required by law is appalling. They paid fines only after the fact, and the facility continued operating.
The system's failing, and it's not just about one facility. Data oversight across the country is weak, with inadequate staff training and lack of information for families.
Sadly, Margaret Tribble's husband wandered away and died. There should be better protections for those suffering from dementia.
Absolutely, Sheila. The industry's lobbying efforts are also concerning. They're resisting accountability and transparency.
Michigan's lack of regulation for certain facilities is shocking. Elderly residents should be safe, not at risk due to legislative loopholes.
The industry's influence over legislation is deeply troubling. We need stricter laws and fines, and real accountability.
The stories of Hazel Place, Lois Carey, and Robert Brunston Sr. are heartbreaking, and their families were initially deceived about their loved ones' conditions.
Falsified records and neglect are unforgivable, Sheila. It's high time we address these issues head-on.
We must push for change and demand better protection for our seniors.
The system needs an overhaul, and it's up to us to advocate for it.
Let's work towards a safer future for our seniors in assisted living facilities. Now, what's next on the morning agenda?
Our next segment is called Journalistic Perils in the Israel-Gaza Conflict.
Leslie, Vincent, and Beasley discuss the dangers faced by journalists covering the Israel-Gaza conflict, focusing on the recent shooting of journalist Mohammed Balusha and its implications for press freedom.
We're diving deep into the perilous world of journalism amidst the Israel-Gaza conflict. Let's get right into it.
Thanks, Sheila. It's a crucial topic. Mohammed Balusha, shot while reporting in Gaza, highlights the risks journalists face.
Absolutely, Leslie. He was wearing a press badge and helmet, yet he was injured. That's alarming. Is press freedom under threat in this conflict?
Well, Vincent, it's a complex situation. The Israel-Gaza war has seen numerous journalist casualties, and Palestinian reporters are in a particularly dire situation. It's a stark reminder of the sacrifices journalists make to bring us the truth.
And just a day before Balusha's injury, we had the tragic incident involving an Al Jazeera cameraman. Are journalists being deliberately targeted here?
Good question, Sheila. The IDF denies targeting journalists, but it's hard to ignore the mounting casualties. These incidents are causing a chilling effect on journalism, making reporters think twice before covering critical stories.
Right, Leslie. They said they approved a safe route for ambulances, but it didn't work out as planned. Is this a cover-up, or simply a tragic misunderstanding? It's a troubling sign when even the most basic assistance for injured journalists falls apart.
Vincent, it's essential we scrutinize these incidents, but we mustn't jump to conclusions. However, the situation raises concerns about accountability. We need transparency from all sides to understand what truly happened in these cases.
True, Beasley. Belusha had previously reported on the tragic case of babies left behind at a hospital. Is there a pattern of neglect or disregard for civilian lives? Are journalists uncovering these tragedies being silenced?
It's a troubling pattern, Sheila. Those babies' lives were lost, and there's been little accountability. Journalists like Belusha are vital for exposing these issues, but it's disheartening to see their safety compromised in the process.
So, what can be done to ensure the safety of journalists covering the Israel-Gaza conflict? How can we protect the invaluable role of journalists in holding power accountable and informing the world?
Well, Vincent, international organizations must keep press freedom at the forefront, and parties involved should respect the vital role of journalists. At the same time, journalists themselves must take every precaution to stay safe, even in the most challenging environments.
Great insights, everyone. It's a challenging time for journalism, but the importance of shedding light on these issues cannot be overstated. We need journalists like Belusha to continue their crucial work, and we need safeguards to ensure their safety.
Absolutely, Sheila. Let's hope that through discussions like these, we can help ensure the safety of journalists and uphold the principles of press freedom. We cannot let the darkness of conflict extinguish the light of truth.
Well said, Leslie. Thank you all for joining us today and shedding light on this pressing issue. Stay tuned for more insightful discussions right here on our show. Let's move on to our next story.
Leslie, Vincent, and Beasley now engage in a comprehensive discussion on the alarming surge of AI-generated fake news, its far-reaching implications, and the strategies needed to counter this evolving threat.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our tech segment. Today, we're diving headfirst into a digital minefield, the proliferation of AI-generated fake news. Leslie, Vincent, Beasley, let's delve deeper into this unsettling phenomenon.
Thank you, Sheila. This is a topic that warrants our attention and concern. We're witnessing an alarming surge in AI-created fake news, and it's spreading like wildfire across the internet.
You're absolutely right, Leslie. What's particularly unsettling is how these AI-generated articles are becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish from authentic news. This has become a misinformation superspreader, with grave consequences.
Indeed, Vincent. What's even more concerning is how accessible this technology has become. Now, practically anyone with an internet connection can manipulate information. It's corroding trust in media and democracy itself.
The impact is staggering. Take, for instance, the fabricated story about Benjamin Netanyahu's psychiatrist. It started as an AI-generated tale but ended up on Iranian TV and social media platforms, creating a ripple effect of misinformation.
Sheila, that example perfectly illustrates the dangers we're facing. False narratives like these can harm political candidates, military leaders, and even humanitarian aid efforts. The rapid growth of these fake news sites is particularly worrisome, especially with the 2024 elections looming.
And it's not only limited to text-based content. AI is being used to create fake news anchors, spreading propaganda and disinformation. In some instances, politicians' voices have been cloned to utter controversial statements just before crucial elections. This is a double-edged sword.
True, Vincent. These deceptive websites, often hidden behind generic names, seamlessly blend AI-generated articles with genuine ones, making it incredibly challenging for readers to discern fact from fiction. This is a literacy issue, and it's only going to escalate.
So, as we approach the 2024 elections, what strategies can we employ to combat this escalating wave of AI-generated fake news?
Education is paramount, Sheila. We must enhance media literacy among readers, empowering them to spot red flags, peculiar grammar, sentence construction errors, and inconsistencies. Awareness is our first line of defense.
I couldn't agree more, Leslie. People need to realize that not all sources are equally credible. Just because a website claims to be a news outlet doesn't guarantee ethical journalism practices. We need to critically evaluate the information we consume.
Additionally, it's essential for international organizations and governments to step up their efforts. Regulating this domain is undoubtedly challenging, but it's imperative to safeguard the integrity of our information ecosystem. Social media companies, being primary platforms for the dissemination of news, must also play a pivotal role in this endeavor.
The issue of regulation is complex, as it may conflict with free speech protections. This leaves much of the responsibility in the hands of social media giants. But is it feasible for them to keep up with the sheer volume of these deceptive sites?
Sheila, that's a significant challenge. Dealing with these AI-generated misinformation sites is akin to playing a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. Shut down one, and another emerges elsewhere. However, social media companies must intensify their efforts to combat this misinformation superspreader.
The scale of this AI-driven misinformation war is unprecedented. We need to stay vigilant and educate ourselves and our communities. The battle for truth is ongoing, and it's imperative that we all play an active role in countering this menace.
Ultimately, this is a wake-up call for our society. We must adapt to the complexities of the digital age and take proactive measures to protect the integrity of information. Failure to do so could have dire consequences for the very foundations of our democracies.
Well articulated, everyone. This issue is far from resolved, but heightened awareness and decisive action are our strongest allies in this battle against AI-generated fake news. Thank you all for shedding light on this pressing concern. Stay tuned for more tech insights on our show. Time for a coffee refresh, and then we will move on. What's on Tay agenda now, Harold?
Abba Bhattarai's article in the Washington Post highlights the significant shift in the composition of the U.S. labor force, as older Americans increasingly choose to remain in the workforce. Leslie, Vincent, and Beasley delve into the implications of this trend and its impact on retirement and the economy. Sheila, please lead this off.
Welcome, everyone, to our economy segment. Today, we explore a remarkable transformation in the American workforce, the growing presence of older workers. Leslie, Vincent, Beasley, let's dive right in.
Thank you, Sheila. Abba Bhattarai's article shines a light on how older Americans are redefining retirement. It's no longer a binary choice. Retirement has become a gradual process. A fascinating shift, don't you think?
Absolutely. Leslie, the Pew Research Center's report indicates that the percentage of older Americans still working, whether by choice or necessity, has doubled in the last 35 years. This is changing not only the workforce but also retirement itself.
It's an intriguing phenomenon. We are witnessing an aging society, but it's not just about more older adults in the workforce, it's the fact that a larger share of them are actively participating, especially well-educated older adults with college degrees.
Indeed, education plays a significant role. The report also highlights that older college-educated workers are making more money, narrowing the wage gap with younger workers. How do you see this impacting the workforce dynamics?
Well, Sheila, this shift is undoubtedly beneficial in terms of wage equality. Older workers are now earning a median hourly wage of $22, just $3 short of younger workers, a stark contrast to the $8 gap in 1987. It's remarkable progress.
The individual stories behind these statistics are equally fascinating. People like Fred Lillikes, who found purpose and financial stability by returning to work post-retirement, exemplify this trend. Retirement is no longer about idleness for many.
And let's not forget the policy changes that play a pivotal role. Adjustments in Social Security eligibility and the shift from traditional pension plans to more flexible contribution plans have made retirement decisions more nuanced, often tied to economic conditions.
That's a crucial point, Beasley. The economic cycle now heavily influences retirement decisions. Workers have to consider factors like the stock market's health when deciding on their exit from the labor force. How do you see this evolving in the future?
It's a complex landscape, Sheila. As Joseph Quinn mentions, the traditional retirement model of working for 40 years and then retiring with a gold watch is becoming outdated. Workers are now transitioning gradually, taking on bridge jobs or part-time roles as they prepare for retirement.
And this trend is likely to continue. Sheila, people like Leonora Riley, who retired twice but now enjoys part-time teaching, show that retirement isn't a one-time event anymore. It's a multi-stage process with room for exploration and giving back to the community.
Economically, this shift is also noteworthy. Older Americans' increased wealth, attributed to higher employment rates and investment growth, is reshaping spending patterns. They're buying homes, traveling, and dining out, contributing significantly to the economy.
The wealth accumulation among older Americans is undeniable. It's encouraging to see how they're contributing to the economy. The labor force is changing, but as we wrap up, what key takeaways should our viewers remember regarding this evolving workforce?
Sheila, it's crucial to recognize that retirement is no longer a fixed destination but a journey. The economy benefits from older workers, and this trend is here to stay. We must embrace the evolving nature of work and retirement.
Absolutely. Leslie, the landscape of retirement has shifted, but it's important to remember that the reasons for older workers staying in the labor force can vary widely. Some do it out of necessity, while others choose to contribute further to their passions and interests.
And let's not forget the importance of financial planning. Many older Americans are extending their working years because they have no other choice due to a lack of retirement savings. It's a reminder of the need for financial preparedness at all stages of life.
Well said, everyone. This transformation in the American workforce is a testament to adaptability and resilience. As we move forward, understanding and supporting older workers will be essential for a thriving economy. Thank you for shedding light on this topic. Now, Harold, what have you got for us to discuss?
Join our lively hosts, Leslie, Vincent, and Beasley, as they dive into the recent Tesla autopilot recall, unraveling the twists and turns of self-driving technology.
Welcome, everyone. Leslie, can you kick us off with the facts?
Absolutely, Sheila. So, Tesla introduced autopilot back in 2014, and it was marketed as a safety breakthrough. But, Vincent, remember that first known fatality in 2016?
Oh, the tragic irony. An Ohio man crashed with autopilot enabled. Tesla blamed the driver for over-reliance, but the NTSB said the system had limited tasks. Bumpy start, huh?
Indeed, Vincent. And in 2017, the NTSB encouraged Tesla to limit autopilot's use to the right conditions. But things got worse in 2018 with tensions between Tesla and NTSB.
Quite the feud there. Tesla CEO Elon Musk hung up on the NTSB chairman, and they revoked Tesla's investigation status. A rough patch in their relationship, to say the least.
Fast forward to 2021, NHTSA started cracking down on crash data reporting. They needed that data, especially with all the incidents involving parked emergency vehicles.
Yeah, and the same year, NHTSA initiated a formal investigation into autopilot after numerous such crashes. The pressure was building up. Beasley.
You're right, Vincent. And then in 2022, there was a recall due to full self-driving software issues. Musk even hinted that regulators pushed them into it. Quite a saga, I'd say.
A saga indeed, Beasley. And this year, the Post uncovered data revealing fatal crashes outside autopilot's intended use. NHTSA didn't set enforceable rules, and Jennifer Homendy called it a real failure.
And just this month, Tesla agreed to recall over 2 million vehicles due to insufficient controls for driver misuse. They've got their work cut out for them.
It's like they're navigating a never-ending maze. They've got to ensure autopilot doesn't have more glitches than a sci-fi movie.
Absolutely, Vincent. In the end, Tesla's recall is a massive step, but it also highlights the need for better regulation in the self-driving car industry.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tesla's autopilot recall journey is a roller coaster of facts and challenges. Thanks to our hosts for breaking it down for us.
Well, folks, that's it for our morning show. Stay tuned for our afternoon show, coming up shortly after lunch.